Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that really impacts all of us, the link between our waste and the health of our rivers.
It's a critical connection. Our rivers are like the planet's arteries, aren't they?
Absolutely. And what we throw away can either, keep them healthy or clog them up badly.
And often we don't really see the immediate impact, but the numbers, they tell a pretty stark story.
They really do.
I mean, think about this. 80% of wastewater globally just goes straight into waterways, untreated.
80%. Wow, that's huge. It just puts immense pressure on those ecosystems.
It really does. And then there's the solid waste, the stuff we can see.
Right, the plastics and everything else. Our research points to rivers being, basically highways for trash.
Exactly. Carrying something like 90% of the plastic waste that flows into our oceans.
So the bag you drop, the bottle that gets away. It could end up on this long journey.
A very long and damaging journey. And it builds up. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's now, 1.6 million square kilometers?
It's almost impossible to picture. It's bigger than many countries.
It is, and we're adding to it constantly. Around 13 million metric tons of plastic leaking into the ocean every single year.
Good grief. And the cost to wildlife is just devastating.
Oh, absolutely. The figures are grim. Around 1.5 million marine animals die each year just from plastic, entanglement, ingestion.
Okay, so clearly this is urgent. Our mission today then is to really unpack this. We want to explore, effective waste management.
What works, what doesn't, and how we can actually start to fix this.
Exactly. From reducing waste right at the source all the way through to new technologies and policy changes.
It's definitely not about finding one silver bullet. It needs a combined approach, an integrated system.
Right, integrated. So what does that look like in practice? What are the key parts?
Well, you start with the most fundamental thing, just making less waste in the first place, waste reduction.
Okay, step one.
Then you need good recycling systems. After that, composting for organic stuff. Then maybe waste to energy for what's left.
And finally, landfilling, but done safely.
Precisely. Properly engineered landfills with leachate collection for the absolute residual minimum. It's like a hierarchy.
A hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the top. Waste reduction. Seems simple, but how do we actually do it effectively?
It's really two sides of the coin. Product design is one, making things durable, repairable, less packaging. And then there's us, the consumers. Our choices matter. Buying less, choosing reusables over single use. Just being more conscious.
Makes sense. Okay, next step. Recycling. We mostly know about this, putting bins out. But what makes it really work, we saw a stat that good programs can cut landfill waste by 35%.
Yeah, that 35% shows it can have a real impact.
Yeah.
But it needs the right setup. Good collection, efficient sorting facilities.
And people actually sorting correctly.
Absolutely. Public participation is key. When it all clicks, you see that big diversion from landfill.
Okay. But what about the tricky stuff? The plastics that aren't easily recycled in the usual way, that's where these advanced technologies come in.
Exactly. Things like chemical recycling. This goes beyond just melting plastic down.
How does that work?
It basically unzips the plastic molecules, breaks them down to their original building block.
Oh, interesting, like taking Lego apart.
Pretty much. And then you can use those blocks to make brand new, high-quality plastics again. Some estimates say this could handle maybe 30% of plastic waste by 2030.
That would be a game changer. And you mentioned pyrolysis, too.
Right. Pyrolysis is heating waste without oxygen. Very high temperatures.
Okay. And what does that do?
It breaks the waste down into gases, oils, and a solid char. These can then be turned into fuels or other chemicals.
And gasification, is that similar?
Similar concept, different process. It converts waste into something called syngas, mostly hydrogen and carbon monoxide.
Which you can then use for energy.
Exactly. Generate electricity or use it as a base for making other chemicals or fuels.
Technology is also helping with the sorting itself, right? With AI.
Oh, definitely. AI-powered sorting is becoming huge. Think super fast cameras and algorithms that identify different materials instantly.
Faster and more accurate than human sorting.
Much faster, much more accurate. We're seeing efficiency gains of like 40% in some systems. It means cleaner streams of recycled materials.
Incredible. So the tech is definitely pushing things forward. But tech alone isn't enough, is it? We need rules, policy.
Absolutely critical. Governments set the stage. They create the framework.
Like extended producer responsibility, EPR. That sounds important.
It is. EPR basically says the company that makes a product is also responsible for it at the end of its life.
So if you make the plastic bottle, You also have to help figure out how it gets collected and recycled.
That's the idea. It pushes companies to design products that are easier to recycle in the first place. Think less complex packaging.
Smart. And what about deposit refund systems, DRS, like bottle deposits?
Yeah, those are pretty effective. You pay a small deposit, you bring the bottle or can back, you get your money back. Simple incentive.
Proven to work well in many places.
Definitely boosts return rates. Then you have more direct tools like landfill taxes, making it more expensive to dump waste.
Discourages landfilling.
And bans on certain items like single-use plastics, just taking problematic stuff out of the system.
And does this actually work? Does enforcement make a difference?
Oh, significantly. Our sources suggest strong enforcement can cut illegal dumping by maybe 60%. Clear rules and follow-through matter.
It really shows the power of government action. But it's not just about governments telling people what to do, right? Community involvement is key, too.
Essential. You need buy-in from everyone. Public awareness campaigns are important, helping people understand the why and the how.
And things like local cleanups.
Yeah, community cleanup events get people directly involved, hands-on. School programs are vital, too, teaching kids early on.
Building that environmental ethic. What about citizen science?
That's another great angle. Getting the public involved in monitoring, say, local water quality. It helps collect data and can highlight pollution issues.
And empowers people. We also noted that community-led recycling programs often see much higher participation.
That's right, up to 50% higher sometimes. When programs feel local, convenient, and people have a say, they're more likely to join in. Makes sense.
It does. Okay, let's shift to the money side. How do we make doing the right thing with waste, well, profitable?
Economics are a powerful driver. You can create incentives, tax credits for businesses investing in recycling tech, for example.
Encouraging investment.
Subsidies for waste energy projects, treating them like other renewable energy sources. And then there's pay-as-you-throw, PAYT, for households.
How does that work? Like utility bills?
Sort of. The more trash you put out for collection, the more you pay. It directly rewards people for reducing their waste.
Okay. A direct financial nudge to recycle more and waste less.
Exactly. And capturing landfill gas methane can earn carbon credits. That turns a harmful emission into a potential revenue stream, besides the environmental benefit.
And the recycling industry itself creates jobs. Right.
Oh yeah, it's a significant employer. Billions in wages. It's not just an environmental issue, it's an economic one too.
So these are all great ideas, great systems, but are they actually working anywhere? Do we have real-world examples?
We do. And looking at success stories is really encouraging. It shows this stuff is possible.
Okay, like where?
Well, take Curitiba in Brazil. They have an amazing integrated system, achieved a 70% recycling rate.
70%.
Partly through a program called Waste That Is Not Trash. People in low-income areas can swap sorted recyclables for food or bus tickets, addresses social needs, too.
That's brilliant, really innovative. What about Germany? They're often seen as leaders.
They are, around a 65% recycling rate, largely thanks to their Green Dot program. That's basically an EPR scheme for packaging, makes producers pay.
Puts the responsibility back where it started. And Singapore. They have unique challenges.
Very limited land, so they rely heavily on incineration, turning waste into electricity. It's reduced their landfill needs by something like 90%.
A solution driven by necessity, but effective for them.
Right, and then you have really specific innovations, like the Great Bubble Barrier in Amsterdam.
Bubble barrier, what's that?
It's clever. A pipe on the canal bed releases bubbles, creating a sort of curtain of air. It pushes floating plastic to the side for collection.
Without blocking boats or fish.
Exactly. Apparently, it catches about 86% of the plastic in that canal section. Simple idea, big impact.
That's fantastic. And San Francisco, they have ambitious goals, right?
Very ambitious. Aiming for zero waste. They're already diverting 80% from landfill through really strong recycling and composting programs, plus policy pushes.
80% is incredible. It shows what's possible with real commitment.
Definitely. These examples prove that integrated systems tailored to local needs can make a huge difference to waste and, consequently, to river health.
Okay, so pulling this all together, it's clear that protecting our rivers from our waste isn't simple, but it is achievable. What's the main message for listeners?
It really takes everyone. Individuals need to embrace reducing, reusing, recycling, disposing properly, the basics.
Personal responsibility.
Yes. But also, we need to support good policies. Push for those EPR schemes, deposit systems, better infrastructure,
Collective action.
and hold corporations accountable. They need to invest in sustainable design and innovation.
More importantly, where might they end up?